that I've put here, it shows a woman in a very bold way of sitting. She's wearing a very unconventional clothes. It's not a typical salwar kameez. It's got a t-shirt on the top and it's got like a dhoti salwar down. The Indo-Western look. And what I want each and every one of you to think is, look at yourself, look at the world around you, and think, if there was a child being born today who's a baby girl, what does it mean to be a woman in 2022? And I'm going to give you my insights, ask you about what you have in your mind. But really, I really want you to think, can this topic also go ahead without thinking of men in 2022? Because if you're only going to push the women ahead, can that really happen? Okay. So today's a time of reflection and self-awareness on the state of women, mostly in our country, as well as outside our country. In 2022, the limitations that we as women are still facing, what helps the woman to feel happy, and very important concept which is called anti-fragile. Anti-fragile is a concept which says, no matter what difficulty came in your life, as a woman, what did you do to deal with the challenges where you made your difficulty your strength and you moved ahead with it? I repeat again, anti-fragile means all your difficulties that you have faced, maybe in married life, maybe with certain illness that somebody was going through, maybe with the children and how you brought them up, maybe with your parents. How have you not let that kill you, but you've used that effectively? You've turned around your difficulty, made it your biggest, strength, and utilized it and waded out of the dark hole and made something fabulous out of your life. So, Namaste Sabha. And from here, let me take you through a small meditation so that you can connect with yourself. So I want you to just close your eyes, relax. Relax your feet. Slowly feel the stress move out of your legs, your knees, your thighs, feel the stress move out of your genitals. Allow all the stress to move out of your back. Slowly relaxing your head, your shoulders, your chest, your stomach. Slowly relaxing your hands, your fingers. Slowly relaxing your face, your eyes. Feel all the stress move out of your eyes. Feel your face slowly relax. And as you relax your face, your breathing becomes more deeper. And as your breathing becomes more deeper, you see yourself scanning through your life. You see yourself like a little baby. Your mom and dad. See yourself slowly growing up. See yourself going to school, to college. Keep concentrating on your breath and allow your life to just move in front of you. You see yourself getting married, kids, husband, in-laws, and now you can see the journey of so many years right in front of you. There must have been times when you've questioned yourself. There must have been times when you felt, how will you survive the hardships in your life? There must have been times when you felt not protected. You must have felt worried. There must have been times when you have felt that somebody is better than you. There must have been times when you felt not connected. Just look at these areas of your life and see how you molded yourself into this beautiful human being that you are today. Telling yourself, I survived it all. I did not kill myself. I did not sink. I lived life. I did not run away. I lived life. Keep carrying this beautiful feeling of living your life to the fullest. Go and see how you protected yourself when you were not feeling protected. How did you transform worry into love? How, because you were not protected, You became extra vigilant about your kids, about your family. And as you see yourself protecting you, or God, Allah, or Almighty Universe protecting you, give yourself credit and acknowledge your strength. Slowly see yourself shining like a beautiful star who loves to cooperate, who loves to integrate, and who looks at the world and says, she did it. She definitely had the strength in her to do it. It wasn't easy. Her circumstances, your circumstances, weren't easy, but you made life happen. You learned to protect yourself. You learned to move ahead. You kept moving. And see yourself, even in the worst of the situations, how you made friends with people that you could not get along with, how you went out of your way at times to be nice to people, how you equipped yourself socially to deal with the drama of your life. Bring all that awareness into your heart. Bring acknowledgement for yourself in your heart. Acknowledge the efforts that you have made in living your life. Spend another few seconds looking at your journey. And slowly open your eyes in quietness. Pick up your pen and pencil and start writing whatever comes to your mind. Thank you. Agam, it's 1:18. You tell me when it's 1:30. Thank you.
Ma'am, can you repeat the last sentence, what you said?
Just sit down and start writing what you felt your life has been and how you perceive yourself in 2022 with all the challenges that you've gone through in your life. How have you dealt with the challenges? So let me give you a little heads up. So my challenge was that I had 12 years back, I had to move back into our country. That was a big challenge because kids were studying and we were very happy where we were. I was living in Czech Republic in a place called Prague, and we had no choice but to come back home because Czech Republic is not home. An economic meltdown was happening, and that was the time a lot of families came back home, and so did we. It hit me very loudly that in a cold country where there was minus 35, I found the warmth of my Indian friends and European friends. But when I came back home, even in this heat of Mumbai, which was just plus 35, so I just crossed 70 degrees across, I felt no support. From here today, it's been 12 years. I could have been fragile. I could have killed myself. I could have gone into depression, and I may have been in one without even knowing. But more important, I studied and I studied and I studied and I studied. And I told my kids when they were leaving for the hostel, you will study, I will study, and we both will show certificates to each other. Even yesterday, I have gained another certificate after studying for 2 days, and I have been given another title by my mentor who came from UK. Now, that was a journey where I didn't give up, but turned around what was very difficult for me into strength and support for all the women, because I knew exactly what happens when you don't get support. So, how do you turn around your story is what you need to write down. Okay, enough of that. Take down your pen, pencil. It's 1:21 and we will stop you at 1:35. Come on, start writing, guys. एक डिफिकल्टी लो और उसे सॉल्व करो. देखो आपने क्या जिंदगी में किया उसे सॉर्ट आउट करने के लिए. क्या सीखा आपने? Can I request all of you to put on your cameras? It's really feeling like I'm talking to a dead end. Thank you. Really appreciate. Thank you. You've got such beautiful faces. I would love to look at them. Thank you. Thank you, Sunita. Thank you, Sujata, for putting on your camera. Really appreciate. Just sit down and write down about how you were fragile once and how you've translated that into something that was amazing. Agam, we've never had so much of pin drop silence.
Sorry, I was little disturbed while you were explaining. So give 2-3 points what we have to write.
You have to write how you turned around your biggest difficulty into biggest strength.
In whole life.
You can pick up any one incident that was
Okay,
difficult for
okay,
you
okay.
and how you turned it around. And when you look back, how it's become your biggest strength. Could be anything. We have more than few strengths in life. Another 2 minutes. And okay, anybody wants to share what they've written?
I have written the
Okay,
old same
raise your hand.
story,
Yes.
the old same story.
Yeah, yeah. Likho, likho. Okay, read. Thank
I
you.
stay in a joint family, which was very conservative, and I did not get support from my sister-in-law, and I separated from them and lived alone with my son and my husband. My life was going very smoothly. Suddenly, the turmoil of financial problem came in our life. And then I started making potato chips, achar, etc. And my friends helped me in selling it. With that money, I used to pay my son's tuition fees. But turning point had come when I had to sell my flat and again stay with the same joint family, the same old adjustments, etc. But this time I became more strong and I openly said that I would do the kitchen work at night. Rest I will be doing my own work. Later, my son went for further studies to Chennai, and now and here my husband was detected with cancer, and for his treatment nearly for 2 years. Half the time I had to go to Mumbai, and as it was his Thursday. After his expiry, I started doing meditation, meet friends, enjoy with them, and then I got GSU, which is now my second family, and I pass my time here. Thank you.
Thank you. I want you to look at, everybody of you heard the story. I want you to write down one strength that you saw of Manjushri in her story. Fatafat, put it down in the chat. One strength that you saw in Manjushri's story. Put it down in the chat. One strength that you want Manjushri to know that she has in her story. Very good. Keep writing. Sujata says she has got self-confidence. Very good. We all have something that we can acknowledge the other person for. In her story, self-confidence. What did she do that, and what is the learning for you guys from her story? What has she done? She's not given up. She's not given up on her life. She's not given up on her son. In fact, she's running a business. Determination, very good. Bela says self-confidence. She never gave up. Yes, Sujata. She never gave up. She's bold. Yes. Can you see the strength? Bold and smart. You know, if I asked her all this, she will say, I don't think I'm like that. That's why I made you write. Okay, who's going next? Who's going next? I want you to read your story like a rock on the sea beach. Bold and smart. Sabha says bold and smart. Sujata says She's like a rock on the sea beach. How do you feel, Manjushri, when you get acknowledgement in 2022?
I said Get Set Up is my second family. And I know that I am supported with all the friends and all. So I am very happy and I'm very comfortable with you all.
Thank you. But how do you feel when you get acknowledged?
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. Yes, Sujata, go ahead.
In 2000, my life changed a lot. In 2000, till then I was in Bangalore and my children were studying in a good convent school, Baldwin's Girls High School. And then we came here, it was a cultural change. Though I had traveled all my life, being in army, my dad in army and my husband in army, we traveled a lot. But for education, I used to be in Bangalore base. And then when we changed here, the culture, everything was different. Everything like dressing up, the speech, the lifestyle, everything changed. And then we have to adjust to it. And then off and on, I used to go, and I still miss my Bangalore lifestyle and the freedom that a woman has in Bangalore. Though nobody forces here to do certain things, but they expect other person to behave in a certain way. That I miss in Coimbatore here.
What is the strength in your story? Sujata.
That I adapted to, I'm like a water adapted to whatever the container is, like whichever the place I am, I'm just observing and
Wonderful. I want you to say that loudly once more. I
adapt to the shape of the container that I am like a water.
Very good. So you learned how to do adjustment and adapt according to the container. And that's a very big lesson to learn. So I want you to know, Sujata, that is the biggest strength that you're carrying inside you right now. What are others learning from her story? Come on, guys, put it down. So Vaidhi has written, or Manjushri, overcoming every time she's faced with a problem. Now that you heard Sujata's story, what are you getting the strength? What are you understanding here? People can be unhappy while adjusting. That's a different story altogether. But did she adjust? Yes. Did she kill herself because she came to another place because she didn't get Bangalore? Not really. So what's the strength that you find in her story? Put it down in the chat. Come on, let's go to the next story. Who is going to speak next?
Yeah, I can speak.
Very good, Binaji. And
So,
meanwhile, I want you to put some acknowledgement for Sujata. Yes, Bill, Binaji.
yeah, that when my husband got sacked by a joint venture, we were shocked as today only they're telling don't come to office from tomorrow, don't come to factory like that. So it was a shock to us, and that company was bold and more money they have. So there was a clause also. We fought a case, but we lost. And then there was a clause that 5 years you will not do anything, then we'll give you money, your partnership money. So during that 4 or 5 years, I had 2 marriageable girls in home, and son was just started engineering. So we all, my husband got depressed. Then we have to take medication, counseling, everything. And then I looked after the expenses, and girls find their own life partners during because they were educated. And in society, we have to maintain our standard of living and being calm and poised also, because we can't just go on telling about our bad luck, whatever. So my husband learned from investment and all this gradually. And then during that time, I got to the spirituality also. And remaining low key was my way of life for the whole life. And both of us are from middle class, big families. So we learned to sway in adversities of life and have interest in art and literature. So we got futility of, we understood futility of materialism, this world. And luckily our children are also learned gradually to remain authentic in life. That's it.
Can you understand when an adversity comes in our life? जब कुछ गलत होता है तो हमें लगता है जिंदगी खत्म हो गई. We feel life has come to an end. But you know how much of learning is there with it? And her biggest learning is that she became authentic, that she became hugely authentic. Guys, write down for Beena ji. What do you learn from her story? Come on, who's coming next? Very good. Thank you, Beena ji.
Thank you. Thank you.
बड़ी बड़ी चट्टानें इसलिए आती हैं हमारी जिंदगी में ताकि हम आगे अपनी जिंदगी को अलग तरीके से मूव कर सके. We are in 2022. Do you realize jobs in our country are very, very important because we don't get supported by the government if we don't have a job. And at that point, the woman of the house stands like Jhansi ki Rani. क्योंकि झांसी की रानी का भी यही कहानी थी कि उसके पास उसका हस्बैंड नहीं था वैसे ध्यान रखने के लिए जैसे जरूरी था. उसने बेटे को बांधा पीछे, घोड़े पे बैठी, and she went and fought, and nobody knew that it was a woman with a child who was fighting like a warrior. Look at how we have 3 women here who are in their complete power in 2020. Yes, anybody else who would like to share?
Let me share, ma'am. It's exactly like Beena, ma'am. I faced twice that problem.
Very 1 minute. I'm just going to get you on.
Camera is off.
Okay, we can't make you. Okay, fine. You just speak like that.
Yeah. So twice it has happened. Once when he had, I think, the frozen shoulder. I think so, because he was lying down once and he couldn't lift his hand at all. And what happened? He tried to lift it and he could not bring it back at all. He was actually lying down at that time, and it was there, and none of us could move it, and it was frozen like that. So, and it was at that time Reiki healing and pranic healing done by my niece, nephew, and all. They brought the hand down to the proper place, and later on, but still he could not, make movement. He could not go to the office. But I was working in the school. He could not go to his office, and he had to take leave for nearly 3 months, and no salary for 3 months. No, because it's a private company. 3 months he had initial whatever that leave he could have applied, that much only he can. But for 3 months he could not go, and I had to manage 2 children, and I had to manage, and I had to take care of him also, and even in-laws were with us. But in-laws, they were managing. At that time, their mobility was better. But this man had this issue at that time. It took 3 months merely to overcome that problem. And we were, that as a family, my children and myself, we stood with them. And later on, and when my children were grown up, they were, that one in 12th standard, one in 9th standard. At that time, again, that time a lot of retrenchment going on in ITP. So my husband faced that problem at that time. So, and he rang me up. I was in school at that time, but around 3:30 he rang me up, telling me that this is being the matter. And I just asked him, where are you? He said that I am waiting near the bus stop now. I said, quietly come back home. No need to discuss anything anywhere. Come back home. Because I was worried that because of this, this is at the later age. That was at least, that when that frozen shoulder was at the earlier age. This is in the later 50 plus, and if he is going to face any issue there, he should not, that psychologically affected, or he should not think and then stand there itself for a longer period. I told him that I am right now getting back home, and you also come back home. So, and then I came back home a little earlier. Usually I used to stay till, after school hours, half an hour, but I didn't stay. I just came back home, and children were there at home. And I told them, I just, briefed them what is the issue, and they understood. They were quiet. But I didn't tell them that you discuss about this as soon as he enters. But what he did, my husband, that was a nice point. He came home, he called my children also, and me, all the four of us sat, and he told the issue. You know what my children told? One said, cool. And the other fellow was telling that, don't worry, we can definitely overcome anything. But this was a thing going on for 6 to 7 months. But at that time, we managed. My husband cooks very well. He also likes to cook. So he cooks very well. So what he decided at the weekends, he was preparing some, that got bisbelabad, the curd rice and all. And then we managed to supply. And my son helped in that. So to this company of people, so the order will be taken. So we purchased actually vessels and all. So I told that better take it in the weekend because I will be available to support at that time. So Saturdays and Sundays, Saturday he will prepare everything. I will be going to the school, but Sunday fully we will engage and then we will go and deliver it in the place. This was going on. And till he was invited back to the same company, they didn't want to lose him because they missed his presence probably. He was a technical writer. They missed his presence and then they called him back. Till that time it was going on. But now, even now, you know that my children tell my husband that you take up that cooking weekly once you do something, it will be keeping up your mind. So that was a very
Very
crucial
good. And do you
manage.
realize whether from here you're going to be opening a business?
Yeah. Mine will
You
be
see
totally a
how
different thing.
that strength of cooking is now going to manifest into being an entrepreneur woman. I want you to get it, guys. In each one of your story, you have stood like a rock with your family. You've done everything for your family. If anything, in 2022, let's look at the strength that you have within you and how you never gave up. I'm very proud of you, Vaidehi. Extremely proud of the dedication, the commitment, and the strength to support someone when you're breaking down yourself. That's not easy, guys. And I think all the stories that have come up so far have done and have said this. Sabaji is saying, Veena ji, awesome smile. You carry more than 16 months. We are on this platform and you're really inspiring us all. And so I want you to write down what is it that you faced. Is there anyone else who would like to share? We have Sabah Khan, we have Parul, Bela. Who would like to share? Parul, Sabah, Bela. Sharing is caring.
I'm just listening today, ma'am.
ना बस listen मत करो, बोलो भी.
Even I am in listening mood today.
You're in listening mode. अच्छा, listen किया तो देखो ये 4 stories में से आपने listen करके क्या समझ में आया सब. चलिए मैं आपको spotlight में डाल रही हूँ.
I मत डालो.
कहानियां सुनी, अगर सही से सुनी तो क्या समझ में आया इन 4-5 कहानियां? ये real कहानियां हैं. These are real stories that are still happening in 2022. The woman still doesn't have the support.
मैम ऐसा है जो सुजाता ने बोला ना कि we are like a water. We have to adjust in any situation or any circumstances. Whatever the problem is coming in the life, we have to adjust. God has made us like this. So that is a
हमारे
God gift.
यूट्रस की तरह ना, बिल्कुल हमारे यूट्रस की तरह जब बेबी अंदर जाता है तो इतनी छोटी सी बॉडी इतनी बड़ी हो जाती है और फिर भी कुछ नहीं होता हमारे को. ऐसे ही जब प्रॉब्लम आती है तो इतना सा दिमाग हमारा इतना स्ट्रेच आउट होता है, कुछ नहीं होता हमारे को. वी एडजस्ट. सबा कुछ और बोलना चाहेंगी? जरूरी नहीं है कि लिखा हो.
Creation of God. We are the beautiful creation of God.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. चलिए कौन और शेयर करना चाहेगा? बेला, आपने शेयर नहीं किया. बेला, बेला तू म्यूटेड रहती है, जब तेरे को चांस दिया जाता है तो म्यूट हो जाती है.
No, I can only say that in all the adversities in our life, God gives us the strength to cope up with all our problems. And in fact, for me, I moved towards spirituality because I was alone in Mumbai. All my relatives were out. My mom was out. My sisters were out. But I turned towards spirituality, and every day I used to go for attending lectures or meditation, and I got through all that in life. Means that me to come out of all my problems. When I look back now, I can say that. So he gives you the strength and the guidance to come out of all your problems. Now with Get Set Up and all the wonderful features that we have over here, life has become great.
Wonderful, Bella, and your face is looking so much younger. So much younger. Okay, so guys, I want you to take this last 10 minutes that we have 7 minutes, and I want us to get into a healthy discussion. And in this discussion, I want you to look at how the woman is in 2022. आज भी अगर बेटी पैदा होती है घर में, तो फर्स्ट थॉट क्या है? चलिए, आज भी अगर बेटी पैदा होती है आपके घर में, तो फर्स्ट थॉट क्या है? इसलिए मत कहना क्योंकि अच्छा लगता है, ऑब्जर्वेशन से बताना कि सोसाइटी का आज भी थॉट क्या है. इफ अ वुमन इज बॉर्न, इफ अ किड, अ बेबी गर्ल इज बॉर्न, व्हाट इज द थॉट पैटर्न गोइंग ऑन बिहाइंड इन एवरीबॉडीज हेड? चलिए, कौन शेयर करेगा?
मैम,
यस
सुजाता here, ma'am.
यस सुजा.
Will we be able to give her the security in the society? The security of it. Yes, ma'am. That is major important factor today.
Shabash, will we be able to give her security in the society? That is, even today at 2022, we are thinking, will she have? पहले बेटा हो जाता तो अच्छा होता. Very good, Sunita ji. शाबाश. बेला कह रही है, we both want a girl, but we got a boy. मतलब कहने का मतलब ये है कि कोई भी, किसी को भी कंप्लीट दुनिया नहीं मिली. Anybody else would like to share? आज अगर बेटी पैदा होती है, तो आज भी आप क्या सोचते हैं? सोसाइटी क्या सोचती है? चलिए, बेटी
My mother-in-law, they have 5 sons, no daughter, but still they want a daughter, they didn't get. That's different. वो भी बोलते हैं कि will we be able to give security to the girl child?
कई बार we adopt what other people are saying. ये हमारे विचार नहीं है. आपको ऐसा क्यों लगता है कि हम सिक्योरिटी नहीं दे सकते?
Not change the psychology of men. We cannot, everybody doesn't treat a woman the way, today also women are suppressed. In my colony I see, like they are suppressed. Even driving, छोटा सा एक बात बताती हूँ मैम, educated crowd है. Driving के लिए they make the son sit in front seat with the father sit driving. Son is only 2 years. कभी वो, you know, like just a child. And the lady of the wife has to sit behind. I don't know this concept, but इतना छोटी सी बात पे मेरे को लगता है कि घर में क्या होता होगा. घर में तो चलो, घर में भी the mother is, the lady of the house is not taken in granted.
चलिए, next question आपके लिए ये है, do you feel women feel heard in 2022? आपको लगता है कि लोग लेडी की बात सुनते हैं in 2022? आज लेडी की बात सुनी जाती है in 2022?
बहुत कम सुनी
आपको
जाती
लगता
है.
है कि आज भी आपको लगता है कि आदमी की बात ज्यादा सुनी जाती है?
In my society where I am, 183 houses, lady is not considered, her opinion is not considered. Though we may shout everything, ma'am, the man plays a major role in our society here in Coimbatore.
Thank you for that. And Sunita ji says kabhi kabhi. And Manju Shri wanted to say something. Please आ जाइए.
लेडीज की बात कम सुनी जाती है.
I'm going to bring you online. I can't hear you right now. Yes, Manju Shri.
I'm saying लेडीज की बात कम सुनी जाती है.
कम सुनी जाती है. Any idea why?
Why तो because they think ना men think कि उन लोग कमाते हैं ना, लेडीज तो होम मेकर है,
Very
घर
good.
में क्या
Want
काम
you to-
होता है.
कहीं कहीं तो लेडीज की चलती है.
कहाँ चल
No,
रही है?
ma'am. Even in Mumbai, even in our society, it's not like that. They are equally treated.
Thank you so much. So यहाँ पे आके ये समझ में आता है कि depends where you're staying, what you're meeting, who you're meeting, and depending on the society that you're staying in, not just your house, it will depend how the woman is getting treated.
Yes, absolutely. Actually, I feel that our next generation may not be feeling that they will be a little smart, whether irrespective of the gender, boys or girls, they will be definitely be smarter than us. I have a feel like that because they won't so easily give up. Girls also won't give up so
I
easily.
want you to know whether you as women never gave up. You stood by your husbands.
Yes, yes.
That's a belief that we have given up. The
ये
fact
थोड़े
is,
कपड़े पे इधर डालो.
neither did you give up, neither did your grandmother give up, neither did your mother give up. You haven't seen that happening. And so you don't do it because you haven't seen it happening. But the reality is also we need to make friends with men. And at this note, I'm just going to take us to the last slides so that we can conclude today's session. Today we were looking at reflection and awareness of the state of women in 2022. Instead of going into talking about women who we don't know, I prefer to talk with the women over here. We looked at the limitations that they're still facing. There seems to be a lot of anger going on against the man, which is really sad because the society has two components, yang and yin, and both have to be friendly with each other for people to move ahead. I would say that most of the women would stand in adversities, and somewhere that gives them a purpose and makes them happy, but not necessarily makes all their family members happy. We also looked at the concept of anti-fragile, and we looked at how all of you dealt with your difficulties and turned your difficulty into something extremely meaningful. I hope this session was an eye-opener, something that gives you an idea, something that helps you to connect with each other and look at each other and say, we all have the same fabric. So if you like what we are doing today, you can click on explore and see and find related classes. Day after, I'm going to be doing fear of being a star, which means fear of success. And we're going to work on it, all of us, so that we can, as women, shine and be in our own power. It's okay to be in our power. Somewhere हम अपने आप को आगे बढ़ने नहीं दे रहे हैं और परेशानी ये है कि कहीं आदमी को ब्लेम करते चले जा रहे हैं. It's not going to help us to reach anywhere. Okay. So I just want you to also check your email, and you will be getting a feedback form there. Please do fill up the feedback form and share your experience on the social media. You can put up what you've written. If you've not written so far, sit down and write and put it up on the Facebook. It's a good read for other people because they also get inspired by what you've gone through your life. And hashtag get set up, at get set up, social at getsetup.io. If you want to host an interest group, please contact help@getsetup.io. I really want to thank Agam. He was probably the only male on this platform, and he heard a lot of anger in women's voice. So I would actually, we have crossed the time, but Agam, I would really like you to come in over here and give one message to your moms, to your sisters over here. Thank you.
I'm really grateful for them. Like, where I am here today because of them.
Wow.
Rest I'm no one.
Do you know what a man is saying? I'm there today because of you. And you know, woman is saying, I am in pain because of you. So we really need to think on this note. Thank you, Agam. for helping me conclude this session. I love the words, Agams, I am there because of you. You are my Janani. And the woman says, I'm in pain because of you. Thank you so much. And with this note, I will meet you again day after, looking at shine. How do we shine like a bright star and fear of losing ourselves in that light? So we'll look at that. Thank you. Bye-bye. Love you all.
Thank you,
ma'am. Bye to
Agam.
everyone.
Thank you, Agam.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.